Hello there, friends and followers, and welcome to this live stream. This is Q8 Pilot, your host for today's show, and today we are flying the FSLabs A320. I want to welcome all of you to this live stream. Omari, hello, my friend. We've got Lindenberg, we've got Gaby, Ali Brahimi, and we have Brian with us. Welcome, guys, and thanks for being here. AvGeek has just joined. Hello, my friend, and welcome, Omar Dougal. We've got Edge, Ryan, we've got Ryan from Holland. Hello there, my friend. Welcome. We've got Kai, Patrick. Hello, Patrick. Welcome everyone to the stream. Glad to have you guys with me. We are going to be flying today from Bilbao to Palma de Mallorca. Our flight time is approximately 58 minutes. We're going to be cruising at 32,000 feet. And this is the FSLabs A320-SL. So what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be setting up the aircraft. We're going to be departing runway 30, and we should make it to our destination in 58 minutes. So let's get started. And here, let's go right there. That's the cockpit. Now, I'm not sure if they've made changes to the textures in the 3D cockpit, but this one looks pretty much like the FSLabs A320, A319, all of them. But it's got an EFB, and to turn it on, you just right-click, hold the right-click on this button, and it should turn on, and it's not turning on for some reason. Is it my mouse? See, you start getting all the strange things when you are streaming. All right, we'll worry about it in just a minute. Let's, we can alternatively go to the MCDU, and we can turn it on that way, and we can go to options. So let's set things up here, and then we'll worry about the FB. Hopefully I'll be able to show you all the features. It is definitely a very good plane. I do appreciate the level of the depth of simulation in this aircraft. So let's go to the fuel, and we are going to bring up our Sim Toolkit Pro. Let's put those side by side. We'll set things up, and then we'll worry about powering up the aircraft. So we are going to need, let's see, 6221 kilograms of fuel. 6221. We're going to enter that here, and it automatically distributes the fuel in the aircraft tanks. And then we're going to head over to payload, and we're going to enter the zero fuel that's indicated in our plan, 61.5. 61.5. There we go. 60.5 is set, and we've got all the information here now. And the option of in accordance to our flight plan, let's go to the exits, and we're going to connect the GPU. We don't need the pins. We'll leave the ground chocks at the moment, and we're going to head over to the overhead panel to power up the aircraft. Let's see if this guy comes up. You see, I'm not sure what it does, but it's doing some really funny things. Yeah, for some reason, just doesn't want to start. Let me just hold it for a while here. It kind of flickers. I'm not sure if it's the streaming software or something else. It could be, but at least we've got something else here to get it to work. All right, so we'll leave the doors alone at the moment, and we're going to go back to the FMC. Return. Let's see here. Not sure why we are not getting. Oh, there we go. All right, so that's because we don't have the batteries turned on. All right, so we have external power. Let's go ahead and turn external power on. The sounds, by the way, on this aircraft are spot on. Very, very nice, very immersive sounds. Battery 1, battery 2. And let's go ahead and turn on the ADIRS to nav mode. And let's see here. We are going to turn on ground control. The cruise supply is turned on. And we're going to turn on the fuel pumps. And the packs. We're going to arm the emergency lights. And turn on the passenger fasten seatbelt and non-smoking signs turned on. And the nav lights turned on as well. And now, folks, we have the overhead panel all ready, and we are now going to head over here to the glare shield, and we're going to set the altimeter 1022. Final cruise altitude today is 32,000 feet. So we're going to set that here. 32,000 is set. Flight directors are turned on, and everything is looking good in terms of the glare shield here. Let's head over to the MUC2. We're going to turn on the other FMC or FMS, MUC2, whatever you want to call it. We're going to turn that on, and we have German the best. Welcome. Ali Brahimi, welcome my friend. Gulshan Kumar, hello there. Tamim Faisal, how are you my friend? I am from Kuwait and streaming from Kuwait today as well. All right, so let's go ahead and see. No, it's actually the left button to turn the EFB, not the left. So it's the right, beg your pardon, not the left. But it just simply doesn't want to turn on today. It's not in the mood, I guess. Yeah, see, I keep getting these pop-ups and things like that. So, yeah, so I'm not going to fiddle around with it. Maybe once we land, you know, we can we can experiment and see why it's not working. All right, so let's go ahead and enter the flight plan. We're going to go to the FMGC. Everything looks good here. We're going to verify the active nav database, which is the current one right now, and valid until the 14th of July. We are going to go to page init, and we're going to enter Lima Echo Bravo Bravo, which is Bilbao Airport, and we are heading to Lima Echo Papa Alpha, which is Palma de Mallorca. And we're going to enter that here. Our flight number is available in our Sim Toolkit Pro plan at the very top right here. Victor Yankee 3944. Victor Yankee 3944. And we're going to enter that here. The cost index is 5. Cruise altitude is 320. And we're going to request iris init. All right, that should be good. And we're going to come to the 0 fuel, and we're going to enter this information here. That is the correct number there, and the block fuel is 6.2, and everything is fine and dandy. All right, let's go to the flight plan, and we are going to be departing today Bilbao runway. Let's take, I believe it's runway 30. That is right, runway 30 through the Papa and 2 Foxtrot departure. That's the one there, and insert, and then we're going to go to Papa November, which is right here, and then from there we're going to take airway uniform Mike 601. So we're going to click on the I believe this is, it looks like a VOR station, and we're going to the airways, and we're going to enter uniform Mike 601, and we're going to exit this airway at Bravo Charlie November, Bravo Charlie November, and then we're going to take uniform Zulu 167, uniform Zulu 167, and we're going to exit at Loris. There we go. And then it is the Loris 3 Mike star into Palma de Mallorca. So we're going to go to arrival. And as you can see, runway 06 left is the arrival runway, which is the first one here, 06 left, through the Loris 3 Mike. That's the Loris 3 Mike. And we're going to insert that. Let's take a quick look at our flight plan, make sure that there are no discontinuities, which looks like there isn't. That's our top of descent, and everything is looking pretty good. All right, we're going to put this away. Let's just switch to plan, just to make sure there aren't any funny things in our flight plan. And it looks like this is our departure. We're going to make a turn and head back. So there we go. That's our plan. And let's see here. Looks like, you know, straightforward. I just want to make sure our approach. All right, that's a nice approach into Palma de Mallorca. Should be fine at runway 06 left. Let's go to performance. And from the performance page, we are going to enter V1 141, V rotate 141, and V2 142. We're going to do flaps 1 and 0.0 down. There we go. Flex temperature 57. And we are now good to go. All right, so all the information is now entered into the McDo, and we're going to come here to this side and put this on performance. Yeah, that's the takeoff data there. All right, let's see Scott. Hello there, my friend, and welcome. Captain Spitfire, hello there. Welcome to the stream. And we've got Andrew. Andrew, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome. And we've got with us also, is it Gennady, is it? What do you think about the price of the aircraft? 140, and the upgrade is, yeah. So this is not a cheap aircraft, okay? This is a very expensive piece of software, but in my view, it's worth its money. The FSLabs A320 is an advanced simulation of the Airbus. So yeah, I think it's worth the money. So yeah, so everything here is ready now. We are ready to go. We're going to switch back to the ARC. Is it? Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and turn on our beacon. Beacon light is now turned on, and let's start the APU. And we can monitor the APU here. There we go. And we can see the EGT rising now. Flaps are open. And while we do that, if you look at the outside, and you'll notice momentarily the smoke coming out of the aircraft exhaust system. You know, I was getting a lot better frames without the streaming software, Streamlabs OBS. Rand, hello there, my friend, and welcome. As you can see now, we can see the smoke coming out of the aircraft exhaust system. There are, by the way, a lot of animations in this aircraft. Everything, there's so many animations, looks fantastic, really. There are some views for you guys as well. Nice use of PBR, quite detailed landing gear, wing view. We'll set those up again for our flight. There we go. That one as well. All right. So we can now start the APU. I think if we go to... Yeah, we can still hear them. All right. So the APU is now running. We no longer need the external power. So we're going to turn off the external power. And we are going to disconnect the GPU now. And we can do this from the menu here. So we're going to go to the McDo menu. We're going to go to Options. And from Options, we are going to go to the external controls. We're going to disconnect the GPU. And we're going to also disconnect the ground chocks. And we are now, ladies and gentlemen, ready to push back out of our position and head over to runway 30 for departure. Let's see, so this is our position, this is runway 30. Okay, perfect. Put this back on performance. We bring this down here, and let's call the ground services. Prepare for pushback and departure. All right, we are ready to push back now. And here is a look also at the airport scenery, which is a really beautiful airport. And as it is always the case, to get the links to the airports and the aircraft, simply type !aircraft, !DEP, and !ARR for the aircraft's arrival and departure airports. All right, we're going to push the nose to the left.
Departure check completed. Bypass bin inserted. Release parking brakes.
All right, we're ready to release the parking brake and get the aircraft moving. So let's see here, parking brake released. And we have now clearance to start all engines. So we're gonna head over here, just make sure everything is okay, packs are okay. And we're gonna push the engine mode selector to start and start with the engine number 2. Now, the way they've simulated this is actually very accurate, because in the real Airbus, this switch, the engine switch, you have to lift it and then move it upwards in order to put it in the start position. And this is, even that little detail is simulated. So yeah, I kind of like this aircraft a lot. All right, here we go. Let's see. Very nice sounds.
We do ask probably 2 minutes of your time whilst we take you through the safety procedures of this aircraft. Thank you.
All right, looks like the safety demonstration is going back in the cabin. All right, let's set the parking brake. Parking brake is set now, and we're going to start the engine number 1. And of course, it's going to wait for us to confirm good start on both engines. Let's go ahead and do that now. Confirm good engine start, just in the interest of time. Perfect. All right, so let's make sure the auto brake is set on max, and flaps are flaps 1 for departure. And we're going to arm the speed brakes, and the speed brakes are now armed. And everything is ready. And we're just going to wait for the engine here to stabilize. All right, so the engine is now available, and we can now put the engine mode selector back to normal and head over here and turn off the APU bleed and APU master. Left is clear, right is clear, and we are ready to go. Perfect. Have a good trip. All right, folks, we're ready to go. We're not going to wait for the marshal. We're just going to go ahead and turn on our lights. Sorry, it's going to blind your eyes, but I'm just going to go ahead and put this on taxi. All right, and we're going to turn on the runway turn-off lights, and we're going to also turn on the wing lights. Let's release the parking brake. First, let's do the flight control check. Full up, full down, full left, full right, and pedal. All right, pedal full left, Y and full right. There we go. All right, everything is good to go. Let's make sure parking brake is released, which it is. And now we're ready to head over to the runway. Let's give it some power. And you gotta love the sounds on this aircraft. Very nice views, really. I love the wing views on the Airbus. Just they're fantastic. All right, here we go. Very nice scenery by Orbex of Bilbao Airport. For those of you who just joined us here on the stream, welcome, my friends. And you probably can notice that my sound is pretty tired today. It's been a very hectic week for me at work. But, you know, I kind of feel inspired to do those live streams. There we go. That's our turn here. We're going to turn this taxiway and head over to runway 30 for departure. tell you that the 5.2, P3D 5.2 isn't bad at all in terms of the scenery, in terms of the immersion, and of course the great aircraft that we have makes for a very enjoyable flying experience. And the sim, all right, takeoff config is checked. We have no blues, and we are ready, folks. Let's take a look at a few external views. Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and turn on the weather system. Perfect. I'm going to go towards the very end there. Let's go ahead and turn on the landing lights. Nose light to takeoff. And strobes are turned on. Cabin is ready, as you can see, flashing here. So we are ready to go now. All right, let's go ahead and start the clock. And we are, ladies and gentlemen, cleared for takeoff, runway 30. V1 is at 141. By the way, TCAS is... All right, we'll worry about it later. All right, here we go. All right, we are cleared for takeoff. We're good to go. And let's take it to about 50% of N1. Stable. Manflex, SRS, and runway. A little bit of wind here. V1, rotate. Right, we're doing all right. All is good. Right, and flaps going up. And thrust climb is set. Alright, and autopilot 1 is engaged. Let's go ahead and disarm speed brakes. Oops, that's not what I want. Oh, come on. Alright, there we go. And here is an external view for you guys.
Be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
What do you guys think? P3D looks pretty good, huh? I think it looks pretty good. It's pretty decent. I mean, it's not Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I think the scenery, especially Orbx scenery, still looks pretty good. And with the Europe Open LC by Orbx for this region, I think P3D looks pretty decent. And of course, the new changes, the atmospheric enhancements that comes as part of 5.2, I think also makes P3D you know, pretty decent. Right, we've reached the transition altitude. Let's see here. Standard is set. And we're going to also increase the range to 40 nautical miles. Yeah, Scott, I agree with you. It looks pretty good, yeah. Are those Rex clouds or default? Those are volumetric clouds. So once you turn on what I call it realistic atmosphere in P3D, it actually overrides anything you have installed. So those are actually true. They call it what, true sky, I believe. And those are the clouds rendered when you have realistic atmosphere turned on. All right, we're approaching 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and kill the lights. Landing lights are off, nose light off, runway turn off light, and wing lights are off. And we're going to also release the passengers and cabin crew. And now we can begin the in-flight services. We are, as you can see, at 10,000 feet. Let's take a look at the external view. And there is P3D for you guys. All right, we continue our climb to 32,000 feet, which is our final cruise altitude, and all is looking good. Jim Walker, hello there, my friend. Welcome. Just right click on the EFB, not hold. Let's see if it works. Nope, I get that pop-up if I do that. And we're going to try here. Let's try one more time. Ah, there we go. Voila, finally. All right, so yeah, I mean the EFB is a nice addition to the aircraft. You have access to, you know, the aircraft's manuals, and you can also look at the forums. If you have the ACARS, you can log in here, SimBrief, Navigraph. Nothing integrated with the MCDU, but you can view your flight plan here. So if I go to Navigraph and we click here, you can see that I can now sign into my Navigraph account. Let's see here. By the way, recently, if you have SimBrief, I think now the login is now your Navigraph account. Let's see if that works. I can't see what I put there, so. Let me try this again. Oh, did it delete the password? Alright, let's try this again. There we go. Alright, so now we're logged in. As you can see, you know, you have access to Navigraph, and now you can see, you know, the aircrafts without having to start Navigraph. So you can just access it from within the EFB. And we can click New from SimBrief, and that's our flight plan. There we go. So that's our flight plan into Palma de Mallorca, and yeah, so it's a nice little EFB that's got a lot of features. If you go to connections, you can also connect the GPU, you can open the doors and call the ground services, which, you know, is, in my view, again, this is what I would expect to see now in all the new Payware aircraft, is a next-gen control panel, if you will, that gives you access to all the aircraft features. You know, the maintenance, the map, all of that good stuff is available to you, and you can show the weather on the map as well if that's what you choose to do. So all in all is good, and we're going to use it, we're supposed to use it for takeoff, but we can use it for landing once we are closer to our destination. So all in all, I think it's good to know that the aircraft is being updated and that FSLabs is doing, you know, whatever they can to keep this aircraft. We have a new member with us. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for your support. I didn't quite get the name, and now we have also Don. Don, welcome to the Kuwait Pilot channel. Thank you very much for your support and being a member of the channel. I truly appreciate your support, and all members of the Kuwait Pilot channel, thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it very much. All right, let's take a look at the external view here, and as you can see, not too cloudy, and hopefully we'll have you know, pleasant conditions at Palma de Mallorca once we arrive. If you guys have been with me in the last stream, where did we fly to? We flew to Chicago O'Hare in the last stream aboard the Flight Factor 767. We did a UPS flight, and on arrival, there were some really gusty winds, and it made for a really challenging approach into Chicago O'Hare. But I tell you, the more challenging the conditions are, the more exciting and fun the approach becomes. And so I thoroughly enjoyed the flight in the last stream. Pilot Peely, hello there, my friend. Oh, thank you very much, Scott. Yeah, it was definitely a difficult one to. It was difficult, but it was very, very enjoyable. Really had a lot of fun flying that approach. And here is a wing view for you guys. As you can see, now the mesh that you see, that's Orbex Europe Open LC, and I think it looks pretty decent. Overall, I think P3D has come a long way. If we compare, you know, even P3D version 4 and version 5, I think it brings a lot of new enhancements, which makes the sim very enjoyable. And at the moment, folks, I'm really enjoying all three simulators. I tend to still fly X-Plane the most. Probably P3D second and Microsoft Flight Simulator third. And I know I promised you guys that I will be doing a live stream of the PMDG DC-6. So that's probably something I'm planning next Saturday evening, which is the regular schedule for my streams. And hopefully we'll have some fun with the DC-6. All right, we are still climbing to our final cruise altitude of 32,000 feet. That's the top of climb, as you can see here. Must take a lot to keep all three up to date. Absolutely, absolutely, Pilot Peely. It takes considerable amount of time to keep everything updated, and the DC-6 is hot stuff. She is definitely a sexy lady, my friend. I absolutely love the DC-6. PMDG have they've got this thing. You know, the depth of the simulation, the attention to detail, really just, they produce masterpieces. And I think I'm the two aircraft that I haven't done yet since I reinstalled P3D would be the Queen of the Skies, the Boeing 747 and the 737NG, NGU, I believe. So I'm looking to, I'm definitely looking to make videos or maybe live streams, but first we're going to do the DC-6. It was the second choice during the poll that I ran on the community tab on the channel, and I actually was, you know, the initial vote results indicated that most of you wanted the DC-6 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. But then after a day or two, I think the balance shifted towards the 767, the SF cargo version. So so that's what I've done, of course, because I will always honor the requests of you know, the followers, the subscribers and followers and members of the channel, and do what you guys like me to do. Will you make a full review of the Kalimata Concorde? I think it's a wonderful aircraft. The Kalimata Concorde, again, a lot of depth in terms of system simulation. The graphics, the exterior graphics look fantastic. The interior needs a little bit of work, but I think it's to an acceptable standard, especially the overhead panel looks fantastic. And overall, I think it's an aircraft that is worthy of its price, if you ask me. Yeah, definitely, it's an aircraft that I would invest in if you know, you're interested in Concorde. Then it's really a brilliant one. What are your thoughts on the I&I Builds A310? Well, I haven't tested the I&I Builds A310 yet. But judging from the I&I build fleet of aircraft, I would tell you that I'm very excited about the A310, and I think it's going to be an excellent aircraft. Of course, I haven't tested it yet. I haven't flown the aircraft. I haven't examined it. But when you hear the name I&I Build, now you can expect something very special. And they've done some really great aircraft, really, so far. In fact, their very first I&I Build A300-600 was, I actually labeled that aircraft the payware aircraft of the year for the year 2020, because it really does deserve that you know, award. So I&I Build, definitely all quality stuff all the way. So hopefully this won't be an exception. And hopefully it will join the fleet of excellent payware aircraft by I&I Build for X-Plane 11. All right, so this is the top of climb. So if we go here, as you can see, this is the top of climb. And the final cruise altitude is 32,000 feet. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let's see here. Let's take a look at the external view. And again, you can see the aircraft has the contrails now. See that? And this is, by the way, there is no immersion add-on or anything like that. This is the aircraft as you get it. And by the way, it does have also the wing condensation when the weather conditions, permit. You will see the wing condensation as well. Overall, I think this is a very well done Airbus A320 by FSLabs, and of course they've got the A319 and A321. So if you're interested in long-haul flights and you want to fly a decent Airbus in P3D, this is definitely the one I would recommend. There is of course always the other option, which is the Aerosoft A330 and A320, I believe, and A319. But I think if you wanted to make an investment in one of the FSLabs aircraft. Now, interestingly enough, how does it compare to the TOLUS? I think it's at par with TOLUS. In some areas, this FSLabs is perhaps a little more detailed in some respects, especially the McDo, and the options that you have to really configure the aircraft the way you like. So you've got a lot more in terms of options in the FSLabs than in the TOLUS. Compares again to the Flight Factor A320. But in my view, the Flight Factor A320 has a slight edge in terms of the texturing and really the attention to the performance, according to an account of a real-world pilot. But they're very, very close. So there isn't really much difference between the two. They're both study-level aircraft, highly detailed, in-depth simulation of the aircraft systems. So if you're a P3D guy, then I definitely recommend the FSLabs. If you're an X-plane guy, I would recommend either the TOLUS or the Flight Factor A320. What yoke, throttle, and rudders does Q8 use? Well, for the throttle, I am using the TCA Airbus side stick for this flight. For the flight yoke, I'm using the Alpha Flight controls. The rudder pedals, I use the Redbird Alloy RD1 rudder pedals. The best investment I've made in rudder pedals was this. And that's pretty much the equipment that I use for this flight. You're most welcome, Tony. All right, so let's take a look at our passengers here. That's a nice swing view for you guys. Now I expect that as soon as we start approaching our destination, I think we will have a little more clouds. Actually, what we can do is we can go to the Sim Toolkit Pro plan, and we can take a look at the weather. Temperature 29, wind 70 degrees, 8 knots, not too bad. Visibility is pretty good, and altimeter is fine. We've got a few clouds at 2,000, scattered clouds at 3,900. So yeah, definitely cloudy conditions as we approach our destination, but it shouldn't be too bad. Are all the functions in the McDo, such as ground equipment and real Airbus McDo? You know what? I don't think so. So there are some options here available so that you can manage the aircraft. So let's take a look here. If we go to the McDo menu and we go, first of all, by the way, you can jump ahead, so that's a good option. You've got the ADIs is not implemented yet. All right, that's fine. And if we go to, I believe this one is not implemented either. So you can jump ahead, you can set up failures, you can arm and activate failures, and you can select them from the menu. But if we go to options, you've got the maintenance option, and just look at the level of details. Again, you can refill the fuel, you can reset the ESS, several tests, you can clean the cockpit windows, check that out. So some level of detail there. The EFIS, again, you can set up the some options there. Fire, again, you can configure this. Doors, engines, ADIRs, units from metric to imperial units, payload, external controls. Then if we go here, you've got other stuff that you can also tweak to your liking. So in terms of features, I believe this has a lot more features than the A320 by flight factor, or the TOLUS for that matter. But yeah, they're all very good aircraft if you ask me. All right, let's bring up. We are at cruise, and we are 167 nautical miles from the top of descent. All's looking good. The weather is nice. A few scattered clouds in the vicinity, nothing too serious. Let me see here if the weather system is, this is on auto. System 1. Yeah, all's good here. And we can bring the terrain on the other display. And now you can see also, if should there be, turbulent weather ahead, then we will get it here. But at the moment, as you can see, everything is crystal clear. All things being equal across the board of flight sim programs, which plane, Airbus, Boeing, or other do you feel is the most accurate representation of the real aircraft? That's a tough question. But let me tell you this. From my experience in the flight sim, and this is a hobby for me, but from my experience and from doing a lot of content in the past 5 years, and having had the honor and the pleasure of flying with real Boeing pilots in the flight simulator, I've had 2 real Boeing pilots that I've done flights with in the sim, and they all vouch for the Zibo, Boeing 737. All of them have said that this aircraft flies very close to the real aircraft. There are very few, very subtle differences that that would distinguish the Zibo from the real aircraft in terms of behavior that does not match the real aircraft. But all in all, the Zibo is a very accurate. It has a very accurate flight model. The details and the displays and the FMC, all of that is quite accurate. Now, in terms of the Airbuses, I've had the same comment from a real-world Airbus pilot on the TOLUS and the flight factor A320. I haven't, at the time, I did not test the FSLabs with those pilots, but I did show them the TOLUS, and we did some flights in the TOLUS and flight factor, and they vouch for them. And of course, the PMDGs of the world, so the 777 specifically, and the Boeing 737 for P3D version 4 were again 2 aircraft that I was told by real-world pilots that they are very accurate. In fact, on my last flight to the States, when we arrived at Tom Bradley International in LA, I met the Etihad first officer on the way out, and we had a good conversation, a good about 30-minute conversation about the flight and the flight plan. And I told him, that I was a, flight sim enthusiast and an aviation enthusiast, and he told me that he's tried the PMDG, that his nephew, is also interested in flying, and he's tried the 777 PMDG, and we actually flew on a 777 during that flight. And he said the aircraft, the PMDG 777, is very, very accurate, both in terms of the system simulation, in terms of the depth, in terms of the flight model, performance. He said he was actually very impressed with the 777 by PMDG. Aside from the PMDGs and the Airbuses of the world, there is, of course, the Majestic -8 Q400 by Majestic Software. And this aircraft is, again, by an account, real-world pilot, is a very close rendition to the real thing. Again, in all respects. The only limitation, of course, would be the limitation of the actual platform. Those aircrafts are kind of, you know, they have the seal of approval from real-world pilots. Of course, there are many other GA aircraft for P3D, and those are also study-level aircraft and are very realistic. But since your question was on the Airbuses and the Boeings of the world, yeah, those are the thoughts that I've gathered, and based on my experience, those are probably the most enjoyable as well in the sim, and everything else follows. Can you fly from Echo Papa Kilo Kilo to Echo Papa Golf Delta in the Majestic -8 Q400? Avgeek, yeah, I can do that for sure, but I would be grateful if you could put your suggestion in my Discord, and that way I have a reference to go back to it, and yeah, I'll be more than happy to fly the route for sure. Flight time is 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour is reasonable. Sure, yeah, I think it would be a nice flight to do. All right, let's check on our flight here, and the top of descent is in 120 nautical miles. We are looking good. If we take a look here at the external view, again, Orbex Europe OpenLC gives the mesh in P3D, you know, a facelift. It makes it look a lot more, you know, realistic and a lot more acceptable. I wouldn't say realistic, but acceptable in terms of how it looks, as opposed to the default textures that come with P3D. Very smooth. See the contrails there, and here is a wing view for you guys. Let's see. Cheers from Italy. Hello there, my friend from Italy. Welcome, welcome. I really miss going to Italy. I've been to Italy many times. Beautiful country, lots of fun, lots of history. And I remember I had a blast with the family in Florence. So we did Florence, and we did, of course, Venice, Rome, Sicily, Padova. So there are some of the places we visited, and I really enjoyed the food. Brilliant, just really brilliant. I remember the fine experience at Venice, and actually the hotel had a restaurant right in front, so outside the hotel, but they served very fresh seafood, and the food is just succulent, and the way they serve the food, you know, they come with a smile, and they just put a scene when the food arrives, and it was just really great experience. Yeah, Italy is a lot of fun, and I don't mind the heat in Rome, by the way, in summertime. Just really brilliant experience being in Italy. I absolutely love it. Thank you very much, AppGeek, for putting the suggestion on my Discord. Appreciate it. And I'll tell you guys, I've had also a lot of pleasant experiences in other European countries, including the Netherlands. Really fine experience in the Netherlands. Really enjoyed it. People are very friendly, and everyone is so kind to the kids. And that's, you know, that's a big thing for me, because I want my children to have a good time, enjoy themselves, and being in the Netherlands was one of probably my greatest experiences with the family. Really enjoyed it. was a lot of fun. Great people, great everything, great food, great people, lots of nice places to visit. It was, I think, a little hot. We've had a few days where it was really hot, and you know, we couldn't really do much. But yeah, definitely, Netherlands is a country that I will visit again and again in the future. Of course, I've been to a lot of European countries, folks. I've been, you know, I've been around the block. You know, I'm not a young folk. I've been around the block. So, if I don't go to the U.S., normally my second destination would be in Europe. And normally, when I've traveled to the U.S. Because of the distance, normally it's about 27 to 32 hour, you know, journey to the U.S. Depending on how many stops I have to make before I reach the final destination. But normally I like to kind of stop in Europe after the US and just relax for a few days and then continue the journey back home. But normally the summer vacation, if it's not the US, it's definitely the UK. And then UK is normally the hub because we own a property there, so that becomes the hub. And then we start, you know, going to other European countries, France, Sweden, Netherlands, Switzerland. I'd like to go to Norway. Norway is one of the countries I have on my bucket list, and I want to go there someday. I would love to see VNav on the fly-by-wire A320 on MSFS. I don't like flying Airbus on MSFS when comparing it to X-Plane and P3D. I agree with you, fully there. Thank you very much, Pilot Peely. Appreciate you being here, and stay safe, my friend. Stay well and safe, and we'll see you in, you know, next time. Do you recommend X-Enviro? I've been thinking of buying it, or iCloud. Well, look, X-Enviro is a great tool. But it really affects performance, and I would wait until they come up with the, you know, new updates to improve performance. Unless you have a beast of a machine, then that's fine. You know, you can definitely make the investment. It's a great add-on, but it requires, you know, considerable PC power. And by the way, don't think about turning the options down, because if you turn them down, it's not going to look good at all. It's going to look really bad. So X-Enviro with maximum settings is the only setting that would make it look good in my view. So, and even my PC struggles sometimes with it, especially during nighttime. So my recommendation is don't make the investment now. Wait until that, you know, plugin or add-on is optimized for performance, and then make the investment. Yeah, Active Sky is a little different though than X-Enviro. X-Enviro, folks, is a complete environment engine. So it replaces the clouds, the lights, the sun, the water. It injects environmental sounds. So it does a lot of different things, and of course the clouds. Whereas Active Sky, they do include textures, but actually it's a weather generation engine. So it only injects the METAR, and that METAR is then translated by the X-Plane engine, and then the weather is depicted in the sim. So there's a huge difference between them. Active Sky compares to FS Global Real Weather, not to X-Enviro. X-Enviro is a complete environment engine, very, very different. All right. We are going to go ahead and enter the arrival information. So let's head over to our iPad here, and we are going to enter the airport. The airport is Lima Echo Papa Alpha, and we're going to hit enter. And now we have all the information here, and we are arriving at runway 06 left, and we're going to say calculate, and now it's calculating, and now you can see we have all the data here. We've got the headwind component, crosswind component. You've got all the details here as well. We've got the outside temperature, and of course, you know, this is fine, this is fine. Oh, this is perfectly okay. And yeah, we can set up the MCDU now. So let me just hit 0 here and reset the view. That's much better. All right, so let's go to the phase, and we're going to enter the QNH, and the QNH according to the EFB is 1014. The temperature at the destination is 28 Celsius. And the wind, let's see here. I can't see the wind. All right, well, that's not a problem because we can always consult our... All right, so we've got 020, 9, Verbos 190. Wow, really? All right, I'm just going to put 020, 020. And what do we put here? We'll just say put 10 knots. There we go. This looks like there's a discrepancy from what we see here and what we see in the EFB, but that's all right. Yeah, 76 knots. Oh, that's right, 70. Where was I looking? All right, so 070, 070, and 8 knots. That's better. All right, so we're done there, and we're just going to put 250 here, and we are done. All right. Now, for the MCP, we need to reset the MCP altitude, and if you actually look at your flight plan, if we scroll down here, we'll see that, you know what? Let's go back here, and we'll go to Navigraph. And we're just going to go to the end here, and we're going to select the airport, and we're going to select the approach. There we go. And this is the approach, and that's ILS 06 left. And let's bring it here. And if we look, so the platform altitude is 1,700 feet. All right. All right. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to set this to 1,700 feet. Let's hit 0 and reset our view. And that's the top of descent. You can see it now. So let's go to 1,700. There we go, 1,700. And now we're going to wait for the top of descent, which if we go to performance here, you can see that it's in 36 nautical miles. So we are getting close to our destination. For some reason, I think XB11 default clouds are the most realistic. Well, they don't look bad. I'll tell you, they've improved over the years. They're decent. I agree, Scott. Yeah, they're not bad. But again, when you're flying in X-Plane, as opposed to Microsoft Flight Simulator or P3D and X-Plane, I think the clouds are okay. Yeah, and P3D with the new volumetric clouds, of course, does look better. But still lacking, in my view, in terms of the clouds. Right, we're almost there at the top of descent mark. As you can see now, the aircraft is making its turn. Just look at that view. That looks really, really good. And they've come a long way, by the way, in terms of performance as well, Lockheed Martin. So I think, overall, I think, you know, they've done a good job with 5.2. Yeah, I agree. The other clouds are 2D clouds, and they just look horrible when you fly through them. Almost at the top of descent. Well, I'm very glad tomorrow is a Thursday. It marks the last working day in the week here in Kuwait. So our holiday is on, or the weekend is actually Friday and Saturday. So yeah, it's been, folks, honestly, a very hectic week. So I'm kind of really looking forward to it. And my family's coming back from the UK on Friday evening, so kind of looking forward to that as well. They've been away for some time, so yeah, I kind of you know, capitalized on the fact that they're not here and did more streams and produced more videos during this time, and hopefully I'll be able to continue producing, you know, as many streams and videos in the coming days. And I think the streams are a lot more fun. I think it's more engaging to do streams. I use X-Vision and FS Global Real Weather. Other than the harsh weather injection, I like the clouds. Yeah. The clouds are fine in X-Vision. I use X-Vision for X-Plane, and I use the Nordic Extreme preset. I think it's pretty good. Alright folks, we are now approaching the top of descent, about 14 nautical miles, and our destination is not too far from this point. If we look actually at the map here, as you can see, we're almost there now. About 12 minutes and 41 seconds before arrival into Palma de Mallorca, and everything is looking fine and dandy. Not much to see in the external view. We can see the ILS, you can see here ILS 06 left is now displayed here in the ND, and we're ready for our approach now into our destination. Six nautical miles before top of descent. We have the MCP set. Alright, we're going to reduce just the range here. As you can see now, we are almost there. 2 nautical miles. I think we're close enough. Let's go ahead and initiate the descent. And you can see now the thrust is idle and descent is marked here, so it's you can see now the aircraft has begun the descent, and we are now descending to 1,700 feet, which is the platform altitude for runway 06 left at our destination. By the way, the approach into Palma is quite spectacular from certain angles. The mountains look fantastic. We are flying over, you know, over the ocean right now, as you can see here. So there's just water underneath us. But what we're not too far from, you can see the mountains here. I'm not sure if you can see them in the stream, but I can definitely see them right in front here. And yeah, we continue now our descent, and all is looking good. Again, the clouds are not, although they are volumetric clouds, they're not the best in my view. The depiction of the clouds is improved significantly over previous versions of P3D, but still not in my view where, I would call it, realistic, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. Yeah, cloud out isn't bad. It's all right. And we are now down to 28,000 feet. Now you see this, you see how the, I'm not sure why this happens in P3D, but you can see the clouds kind of moving as if they're swimming away. And I'm not sure why it does this, but this is something that probably needs fixing because it's completely unrealistic. What it does is look very funny. But yeah, that's probably something that needs fixing for sure. Cloud out for X-Plane is great. It's not bad at all. And we've got a new subscriber, Oliver. Thank you very much for being a subscriber of the QA Pilot channel, and welcome. Hopefully we will, bring the aircraft. Hopefully we'll butter this this landing. I'm planning on it. Hopefully we'll be able to do it. I tell you guys, I am feeling pretty sleepy right now. It's kind of getting late for me. It's by the way, it's 10:15 p.m. Kuwait time right now. But I tell you, it's been really a hectic day. All right, we continue the descent, 24,000 feet. Let's take a look here, just make sure that we are good. We are spot on in terms of the rate of descent, and all's looking good. Yeah, everything is looking perfect. I think you can see the mountains now, right ahead of us there. Yeah, looks great. I was thinking of making more tutorials and maybe revisit some of the tutorials that I've done in the past. For example, Boeing FMC, Airbus MAX-2. Moritz is asking, have you been working today? Absolutely. Absolutely. From 7 a.m. until about 5 p.m. I was at work, and then I kind of said, you know what, let me call it a day and go home and rest a little bit. And so yeah, I had lunch with my mom today, and then kind of relaxed a little bit, and then I said, yeah, let's head back and do the stream. Rand says, never seen you do a bad landing. Oh, thank you very much, Rand. I think I've had my share of bad landings in the past. I'll tell you one thing, Rand, that I've found. When I'm doing a live stream, I pay extra attention, because and it is a little more stressful than doing the regular video, because in the video you can always go back and if you don't like the video, or your landing wasn't really good, or you said something, you don't feel like, it should have been part of the video, you can always edit that part out, and you can always repeat the entire flight or repeat that, specific section of the flight. But when you're live streaming, it's whatever is said, and you can only retract it after the stream, not during the stream. And so honestly, I do pay extra attention when I'm, streaming. So, and maybe that's why, the landings during streams are better. But yeah, I've had my share of bad landings. At least I think I'm pretty hard on myself anyway. I'm just, somewhat of a perfectionist, I think. And a lot of the, a lot of what I hold as part of what I do in my life comes through this hobby as well. And yeah, I do take things very seriously. Everything I have passion for, I like to do it like with 100%. I like to give it my 100%. And that's just been the guiding principle in my life throughout. So yeah, but thank you very much. I really appreciate it, Rand. That really, it really boosts my morale. And I'm glad that you see things this way. And in the end, what matters is what you guys think, and I'd like to live up to your expectations in the end. My, dear followers, subscribers, and my friends, and all the fine people, that I've made, or that follow the channel, are the people that matter to me here on YouTube. All right, needle looking good, altitude looking good, speed is looking good. We are looking absolutely fine for our approach into our destination. Here is, ladies and gentlemen, external view of the island ahead of us. And of course you can see that the textures are a bit blurry, but as we move towards them, they kind of become sharper. And that's always been a thing with P3D and FSX, always. And it's got nothing to do with your machine. Now you can see that it's kind of loading now. Yeah, you can see more loading, and it's becoming sharper. All the textures are now becoming sharper. I've seen this, by the way, since the introduction of Vulkan. I've seen the same issue in X-Plane for the autogen. So not for the textures, but for the autogen, that same issue is there as well. Well, thank you very much, Rand. I'm glad that, I'm glad that you learn from the channel, you learn from me. That's the name of the game. That's what I'm here. I'm here because I want to share the knowledge. What do the illuminated circles that are next to the selected altitude course indicate? What do the illuminated circles, selected altitude? Is it here? I'm not sure which ones you are referring to. Selected altitude, is it here? Selected altitude course. Sorry, Scott, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Alright, I think we can take a look here, and now there's a better view. Just look at that, ladies and gentlemen. This looks fantastic. I mean, this looks pretty good, I have to say. Everything, the textures, the mountainous terrain, and yeah, this looks really nice. Again, this is, guys, this is Orbex scenery. Let's see if I can show the other side. There we go. There. Again, you can see the textures here quite sharp, and yeah, they look pretty good. Alright, let me reduce the range here. Alright, let's see where we are and what we're doing here. We need to be at 13,000. We are at 14. We're looking good. You can see the green needle here. You see this green needle? So this needle actually will help you determine whether you are too high or too low for that specific sector that you're flying. If you see this ball moving upwards, it means that you are probably too low, and if you see it going down here, then it means you're too high. So you need to kind of watch for this and make sure when it's on the center line, it means that you're at the perfect altitude for the current sector, considering your speed and the remaining distance to the airport. So we are looking good. We need to be at 13,000, and we still have about 2.7 nautical miles to clear about 400 feet. So we're looking good and all is fine and dandy. Let's just take a quick look here at the speed. No, that's not the previous phase. Right, approach phase. So 144 VAP, and transition altitude is 6,000 feet. Perfect. The illuminated circles on the FCU. Illuminated circles. I'm not sure where the circles are. Oh, is it this? Is this what you're referring to? Those circles. So those circles will, what I think is they indicate, so you've got the dashes, and then it means that this is in managed speed mode, and if I remove it, if I click there, you can see it's gone now. It means now it's in manual mode, and this is back in managed mode, and we are approaching now 10,000 feet. Looks like there is a restriction at 5,000, yeah, right there, because I can see it here. If you look down here, you can see the 5,000 here, so I believe there is a restriction there. And now the aircraft is decelerating, and we're gonna let it do its thing. And here's a look at this beautiful scenery of this beautiful island, Palma de Mallorca. Beautiful. Just really can see again the mountainous terrain here. Very nice texturing by Orbex. Brilliant. Do you prefer FS 2020 or P3D? I honestly prefer P3D at the moment, simply because of the add-ons. But once once we see more add-ons coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator, that might very quickly change. All right, we are approaching 10,000 feet, folks. So we are going to go ahead and turn on the landing lights. Landing lights turned on. Runway turn off light, and nose light to take off. Wing lights are on. And we are going to turn on the passenger and fasten seat, non-smoking and fasten seat belt signs. You can see that this is our turn, and we are looking good. There's our, green ball, and we just want to make sure that this green ball stays either at the yellow line or above. We don't want to go under, because it means then we're too high, and that's going to be very problematic for us. Alright, and we are going to go speed check flaps 1. Okay, flaps 1 is set. It's a nice approach into our destination. And we keep descending at about 1,200 feet per minute. Alright, landing system is turned on. And let's head over here. Everything looks good there. We're going to set auto brake to medium, and we are going to arm the speed brake in preparation for landing. And we are now all configured. And so now we just wait for the flap settings and the landing gear. But other than that, we are pretty much ready to land. You can see the localizer needle and the glide slope will be here. So we can see the localizer needle. This is the speed. And we continue the descent. Now I think we should be fine. We're descending at a reasonable rate. And again, the platform altitude is 1,700 feet. Landing lights at flight level 10 only at night according to Airbus procedures. Well, that might be the case. Love Palma, just a fantastic destination. Absolutely, Tony. Yeah, that might be the case. I don't know. But normally, I've seen other airlines that turn on the landing lights only at 10,000 feet, even during, during daylight. And the runway turn-off lights and the nose lights to take off with the wing lights will go on the final approach. So I've seen that as well. Now, as you can see here, the glide slope and localizer needles are now appearing, and we can see them here. And yeah, 7,000 feet. And I think here we're going to begin the approach phase. So we're looking good. Now let's take a look here at the external view. And that is the airport right there. So it's going to be a nice approach from the seaside into the airport. You can see now the wind condensation. You see that? So that's a feature of the FSLabs. You can see it clearly here. Yeah, that's definitely a feature of the FSLabs. It's not very well done in my view. I mean, it doesn't look very realistic, but at least it's there. So, you know, it gives you that feeling, if you will. Looks all right. Much better probably from the wing view. Alrighty. Got a reference and set it there. We're looking good. And we keep descending. And there's one restriction at 5,000, as you can see here. Fantastic scenery, really. And you can see now the approach phase is activated. Alright, at this point we are going to engage the approach mode. Localizer captured. Speed check, flaps 2. Right, looking good. Now, as you can see here, the needle is moving. That means we're too high. So we need to start decreasing or descending in order to intercept the localizer. And the reason why the aircraft isn't descending fast enough is due to the speed. So it wants to reduce the speed first. But we should be fine. All right, speed check, flaps 3. And you can see the glide slope, we are a bit too high, but we should be able to correct that. All right, we're going to go ahead and lower the landing gear. Beautiful view of the island and the aircraft. Looks fantastic. And you can see the volumetric lights as well there. Alright, where you can see now the glide slope needle is moving back up. Alright, let's take a look here very quickly at everything, make sure everything's okay. We've got the runway turn off lights, landing lights, strobe, beacon, wing lights, all the lights are turned on. Seat belt and non-smoking signs are turned on. Auto brake is on medium, and flaps 3. Cabin is ready. There are no blues. We are clear to land. Runway 06 left. I think we lowered the landing gear a bit too early, but that's all right. We're going to go ahead and click Autopilot 2. Just in case we decide we want to do auto land last minute, we will be able to do that. But I think that's no fun. And we will probably disengage at 1,000 feet from the runway and take manual control of the aircraft. We're all looking good for our approach. We've got James with us from the Canadian Rockies. Hello there, my friend, and welcome, James. Glad to have you with us. I still don't have the runway in sight. We should be all right. Alright, so the only thing remaining is flaps full from our checklist. We can see the airport is right ahead of us now. Alright, and let's see here. I think I'm able to see the runway, but I'm not sure if that... Yeah, it looks like that's the runway. Alright, I can see the runway now. Perfect. So we can definitely disengage the autopilot at 1,000 feet. We are still at 1650. Now we can see the glide slope needle starting, or the diamond starting to move, and you will see that the aircraft will begin its descent once it passes this yellow line here. You will see the glide slope will be activated, and the aircraft will begin the automatic descent towards the runway. Perfect. All is looking good. Doesn't seem like we have serious weather ahead of us. As you can see now, the aircraft's pitching down, and it's heading towards the runway, which is straight ahead. It's right ahead from our current position. We are descending at about 700 feet per minute. Alright, so we're almost there. Runway in sight, and speed checked, flaps full. Alright, so landing lights are on, fasten seat belt, and non-smoking signs are turned on. Auto brake is set to medium. Landing gear is down. 3 greens. Speed brake is armed. And flaps are full. We are clear to land. Runway 06 left. And we will disengage at 1,000 feet. One thousand feet. Autopilot is turned off, and my aircraft. Again, slight changes with your flight controls to ensure that you remain on the localizer and the glide slope. Let me adjust my view here just a little bit. Much better.
$500.
500 feet. I can see 2 lights, 2 reds.
400. 100 above. 300. Minimum
Continue.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
And welcome to Palma de Mallorca, my friends. Reverse screen. And manual braking. Wow, that we just brought the aircraft to a complete stop on the runway there. Right, I'll check the landing rate for you guys in a minute. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. I thought the landing was all right. All right, let's find a spot. Again, the scenery of the island here, Palma, is available on the Orbex store. I don't think the scenery is by Orbex, but it's distributed by Orbex. And we'll take a look at the landing rate and a replay of the landing shortly. Tell you, it was a fun flight. And it wasn't too, too challenging of an approach. All right, here we go. All right, and we've made it safely here. Let's go ahead and set the parking brake. Parking brake set. I don't know why it does all these flickers. I think it's a chase camera. All right, so we can kill the engines. Perfect. All right. Let's take a look here at Sim Toolkit Pro, and the landing rate is -272. Wow, that's firm. That's really firm. But yeah, it looked good. All right, let's take a look at the landing here. Let's go to Analysis, Instant Replay, and we're gonna go to about 100 and let's go to 200. 280. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so that's the approach. Let's switch to external. Now, of course, you're not going to get any sounds or anything like that, but we can see the aircraft. Yeah, there are no sounds in the replay for some reason. Here is a control tower view. Looks pretty good, huh? P3D. Yeah, nice scenery. You can see the, I'm not sure if you can see the birds flying here. So we were fortunate that, you know, none of these birds actually was in our way during the landing. It would have been disastrous. But yeah, you can see all the birds here in the path of the aircraft as we came into land. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, it was a bit firm, but, you know, not too bad. And what matters is, of course, we've made it safely here at our destination. Folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in tonight and being with me here. I want to thank all the new members who've joined the channel, and thank all the existing members, all the followers and subscribers of the channel, for your support and your kindness over the years. It really is what keeps me going, folks, and I'm very fortunate to have all of you as part of the Q8 Pilot channel. Until next time, folks, please take care of yourselves and each other. Stay safe, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye for now.